All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something that's, well, it's a huge hidden vulnerability inside most companies. It's this deep, dangerous divide in how we all manage digital identities. We're going to break down why this is such a big deal and, more importantly, talk about a new way to actually fix it.
Okay, let this one sink in for a second. Hackers aren't just hacking in anymore. They're logging in. Wow, it totally reframes the entire game, doesn't it? It's not about bashing down the digital walls anymore. The real battleground now, it's identity. Attackers figured out, hey, why bother breaking down the back wall when you can just find a key and walk right in the front door?
And here's the number that really tells the story. 80%. Get this, 80% of all cyber attacks today involve stolen or compromised identities. That's not just a big number, that's almost all of them. It's a huge flashing red light telling us that whatever we're doing right now to manage identity, well, it's just not working. So the big question is, where does this massive vulnerability even come from? It all starts with this fundamental split, this crack right down the middle of most organizations. We're calling it the Great Identity Divide.
Think about it like this. Inside your company, there are two totally separate conversations happening about identity. You've got the IT team over here, right? They're focused on the humans, employees, customers, you name it. Then you've got the DevOps folks over there, dealing with this exploding universe of non-human identities. Machines, APIs, services, even AI. They're using completely different tools, they have different priorities, and honestly, they almost never talk to each other. And that silo, that disconnect, is the root of the entire problem.
So you have this divide on the inside, and what does it create on the outside? An absolute mess. I'm talking about a chaotic, totally fragmented landscape that is, frankly, a nightmare to try and secure. So let's take a look at what this chaos actually looks like on the ground.
Okay, for a lot of you watching, this is probably going to look painfully familiar. You know what I'm talking about. Those 20-year-old homegrown systems that nobody wants to touch. The legacy apps with passwords, I kid you not, literally hard-coded into the source code. Then you've got different identity directories for every single cloud provider you use, and the real kicker, those shadow directories that the DevOps team spun up that IT has absolutely no idea even exist. It is, to put it mildly, a complete mess.
There's a great metaphor for this. Imagine your company's security is like a giant dam, and every one of these disconnected, messy systems, it's a tiny crack in that dam. It just leaves so many places where the water can start to trickle through. And all it takes is one little trickle, one single compromised password, for that crack to burst wide open and cause a total flood.
So, all right, that's the problem. It's a big, messy problem. How in the world do you fix it? Well, the answer isn't to just tear everything down and start from scratch. I mean, come on, that's not realistic for anyone. The real answer is to weave it all together, to build something called an identity fabric. Now, this is super important. An identity fabric is not just another tool you have to go out and buy. It's an approach. It's a strategy. The whole idea is to work with the technology you already have to augment it by connecting everything into a single cohesive layer. And when you do that, you suddenly get this unified view and control over your entire identity landscape, both the human side and the non-human side, all in one place.
And once you have this fabric in place, you can start doing things, achieving security goals that were frankly impossible before. So let's walk through the top 6 things this approach makes possible.
Okay, first up, and this is the absolute foundation for everything else, identity observability. It's a simple concept, right? You can't secure what you can't see. And the hard truth is, right now, most companies are basically flying blind.
So what a fabric does is it shines a massive spotlight into all those dark corners. It finds those shadow assets and those hard-coded secrets we talked about. But here's the really powerful part. It shows you how your human and non-human identities are actually interacting. So you might discover something crazy, like a single service account being used by 20 different people. And oh yeah, 8 of those people left the company over a year ago. That's a huge blinking red flag that you would have completely missed otherwise.
All right, use case number 2. This one is about making life better for absolutely everyone. The goal is what we call frictionless access.
And this is that rare thing in security, a huge win for your users and a huge win for your security team.
The mission here is simple. Kill the password. Seriously, let's just get rid of usernames and passwords altogether. By swapping them out for modern things like passkeys, you get to eliminate the single biggest cause of data breaches. And at the same time, you make logging in super easy and seamless for all your users. It's one of those security projects that people will actually thank you for.
Okay, let's pivot now and talk about the non-human side of the house. We're going to tackle the enormous problem of secrets. And by secrets, I mean all those passwords, API keys, and certificates that all of our applications and services use to talk to each other.
So the old way of doing this is with static secrets. These are basically passwords that live forever, they rarely get changed, and if a developer accidentally leaks one on GitHub, game over. It's going to be exploited in minutes. The modern way, the better way, is with dynamic secrets. These are credentials that are created just in time for one specific task, and then they're automatically destroyed moments later. The risk of a leak, it basically drops to zero.
Use case number 5. This one tackles a massive headache for pretty much every CISO, auditor, and cyber insurance company out there. Privileged Access Management, or PAM. We're talking about controlling your most powerful God mode accounts, the keys to the entire kingdom.
So here's the dirty little secret of PAM. Most companies, they only have maybe 20 to 70% of their privileged users actually covered by their PAM solution. That means 30 to 80% of their most critical accounts are just unprotected. It creates these massive risks for audits and for getting cyber insurance. An identity fabric gives you the visibility you need to finally close those gaps and get to 100% coverage. Your auditors will love you for it.
And that brings us to our final use case, number 6, which really ties everything together. This is all about shifting from a purely defensive posture to getting on the offense. It's about active defense with something called Identity Threat Detection and Response, or ITDR.
So what does ITDR actually do? It's designed to find one specific, very dangerous thing, policy bypasses. Think about it. Your policy says everyone has to use MFA to access a critical app. But ITDR is the thing that can actually tell you when someone gets in without using MFA. It finds those scary gaps between what your security policy says should happen and what's really happening on your network.
Okay, I know. Seeing all of this, the vulnerabilities, the use cases, it can feel like a lot. You might be thinking, great, where do I even begin? Well, the good news is it really boils down to a pretty simple 3-step action plan.
It's simple. Inspect, protect, and govern. Step 1, inspect. You use the fabric to get that visibility, to see everything you couldn't see before. Step 2, protect. You take action on what you found, putting in controls like PAM and ITDR. And finally, step 3, govern. You manage the entire lifecycle of all your identities, human and non-human, from the moment they're created to the moment they're deleted. Inspect, protect, govern.
And hey, if you need a little motivation for why that protect step is so critical, just look at this number. 292 days. That is the average time it takes a company to find and stop a breach that started with just one stolen password. That's over 9 months. And Identity Fabric is designed to help you spot that kind of thing in seconds, not months.
So, we'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. The next time someone asks you, "What's your identity strategy?" is your answer just the name of a tool you bought? Or can you say it's a fabric that actually weaves together the entire complex reality of your organization? Because that difference, well, that could be everything.